Well, hello and welcome back to Yarslow. It's been more than a while, a few months I fear, but I hope you're doing okay. I hope whatever you're modelling is going well, and I hope 2025 has been kind to you. There's some wet weather, some very hot weather in the UK, but I hope you're doing well. Progress here at Yarslow on a couple of fronts, starting with carpet. I mentioned this in the last video and I've now had this done where the carpeting has been put down, very comfortable on the old feet. It's surprising what difference it's really made. Quite a cheap job to do, quite simple average carpet tiles, nothing fancy, but have done a lot for warming the place up and deadening the sound and comforting the old feet when you're walking about. I've also finished off a couple of coach projects that I was working on. I had an old Hornby brake Gresley coach that came with the breakdown set. Do you remember that? In a kind of weird crimsony pink colour. I repainted that into carmine and cream, and I've painted and fitted out the interior, along with the interior of the Ian Kirk 59-foot brake that makes up the 7th stopper train, the one that reverses at Yarslow. And I'm really pleased with the way both of those have turned out. I've made quite a few inroads on the timetable. I've run it through 4 or 5 times now, and as ever found mistakes and things that weren't quite right. I've moved trains around to make it flow a bit better, and I've added information for the operators so that they know what's going on, so working timetables, cue cards, that sort of thing. The key component of the operating, of course, is the controller's corner, where the laptop runs the PowerPoint for the timetable, which is projected onto the upper screen, and the controller keeps charge of the master cab control panel. He has a schedule to help him do that, and behind him he has special notices. When in the old days, when loco drivers and firemen signed on, they had special notice boards, and we've got the same, showing the rotation number today, the special trains that are running, etc., etc. Now, it would be wrong to say that the Yarslow layout doesn't have any signals. Trinity Square, of course, has its colour lights, and I've used these old crescent signals purely as markers for the toes of the points at each end of the running loops on the main line. This is so that you can see when the brake van has passed beyond the points. You can reset the points on the loops without derailing anything, or you know that the engine hasn't got to the entrance point of the loops yet, and you can set a loop or cancel a loop if you want to. But as far as actual operating semaphore signals at Yarslow, you'll know that this is something that I've really wanted for some time, and after a lot of investigation I have decided to go for using Hornby 00 electric signals. Now, you might think that's a strange choice, but they come in a variety of types. There is a single one-armed home signal. There is a home and distant combination on one post. And there is a basic junction signal offering 2 posts and 2 arms. Now, these signals are as old as me, but they're bomb-proof. The solenoids are really sweet, and you can pick them up between £5 and £10, and I've picked up a whole bundle of them, the single, twin-armed, and then the junction ones. And I'm using this book as my reference material to convert them into something that looks more like northeastern signals. Now, you may know that the North Eastern Railway had an arm for absolutely every move that was possible from any one line to any other. I'm sure they probably had a brewing up signal at some point on the system. But I've decided that over the recent years, British Rail North Eastern region have rationalised the signalling around Yarslow, and only the essential signals remain. So by sawing off the bits I didn't want with a Dremel, and then using parts from the Ratio LNER signal kit, which includes platforms and brackets and all sorts of other bits and beaks, I've converted these signals into something a little more northeastern. So that includes the platforms behind the signals so that the signalman can change the lamps, handrails where necessary. So basically I've taken the ratio platforms and I've added ordinary microstrip uprights, and I've used cotton soaked in superglue to create the handrails, and then painted it all black and brown and white and all the right colours, and I've repainted the arms where appropriate. You'll note that I haven't removed the crossbar underneath the two arms, because that's integral to the signal, and if I cut that out and relied on a plastic platform, I was going to lose integral strength. So whilst it's not right, I have kept that element of the original Hornby Signals. The signal controlling exit from the goods loop at Yarslow is simply an offset arm, so therefore I've taken a junction signal and simply sawn off the left hand arm. The two arms on one post version was very useful. I've got one of them as a home and distant on the approach to Yarslow, but two of them I've converted to be home signals and then shunt signals. So a short signal has been created out of the distant arm, allowing locomotives to run forward and then run round their trains at Yarslow from either platform 1 or platform 3. I've improved but left the basic structure of the junction signal controlling the exit from the branch. The left hand arm here allows a branch train to run down the gradient and simply onto the main line, whilst the right hand arm gives permission to cross both main lines and enter platform 3 at Yarslow. Just to help the old solenoids along, I have installed a CDU into the circuit, powered from a 16 volt Hornby plug, and again another bomb-proof product, and this is working absolutely fine. To control the signals, I'm using my favourite PL27 Pico passing switch levers that I've used for the points, and they are enclosed inside this little shunter's bothy, a new building which sits beside the stables, and from the other side it doesn't have a back of a roof, so you can access the signals. The colours, incidentally, red for the starters, yellow for the distant, and black for those two shunt signals. And finally, the project isn't totally finished. I've still got some of these track circuit diamonds to fit to the posts. These again come from the ratio signal kits, and where I've chopped great holes in the baseboard to lose the heavy bases of the Hornby Signals, I've got some scenic work, some repairs to do. I shall paint the tops of the bases with a matte black to help lose them as well. Finally, I must say a huge thank you to those people who have stuck with the channel after this recent famine of videos in the last couple of months. But I have got something very exciting coming soon. The Making Yarslow series is finally getting off the ground, and we're going to demonstrate what I do to make things at Yarslow by making a new layout. So stay tuned for that one. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. There's a load of stuff on the channel to look at. Some of it informative, some of it about my modelling, some of it a diary of the building of the layout. But whatever interests you, hopefully there's something in there. Stay safe, everybody. I'll see you soon.